Welcome to the Asian Coding Interview series by Paul Fruitful. In this season, we'll be focusing on data structures. Grab your popcorn and stay tuned. Welcome to a new episode. In this episode, we'll be looking at an important data structure, like is the first linear data structure I'll be talking about, and it is the arrays. So, many people be saying, why spend time on this data structure? Because it's one of the simplest data structures and also one of the most common, and even newbies get a hang of it just in seconds. So, why spend much time on it? Yes, I'm going to be spending time on this data structure because I want to go more than the surface, because most people just know the surface of arrays. There are more concepts to arrays. So stay tuned and watch this video to the end because it's going to add to your pre-existing knowledge of arrays. Arrays. What is an array? Okay, looking at a dictionary definition of an array, when you see something as array, it means it's arranged in an ordered series. So when we come to the digital world, or let's say the computer world, when we say arrays, we are talking of an arrangement of something, and that something is called a node, or it's called an element. And looking at the history of computers, arrays existed from the first digital computers, and it was used as a data table, like it was used to store data as bits. Then then that was the era of machine programming languages. And then as time came, and it kept evolving and evolving and evolving until there was support for multi-dimensional arrays and the rest of them. That's in the era of high level programming languages. So what is an array? Now, the digital world, so an array is a data structure that arranges its nodes as a collection of data. I broke it down into two major classifications: the types of arrays based on dimensions and types of arrays based on their uses. So the first one we have here is the linear array, also known as the one-dimensional array. Is a very common form of array, and almost everyone who is a developer knows it because they must have used it in one of their projects or the other. So the next one we have is the two-dimensional arrays, also known as the matrix. It's like a square. In a visual representation, it's going to look like a square. So it's just like an array nested inside an array. So it's the same case goes with the multi-dimensional array. It's just that it is not limited like the matrix, which is 2 by 2. The multi-dimensional arrays can be 3 by 2. It also have a definite dimension or a definite form. So next off, we'll be having types of arrays based on their uses. Okay, so we have types of arrays based on uses, and the first one we have is the dynamic array. A dynamic array is an array that can be mutable and can be resized. If you didn't know, dynamic arrays are probably the arrays you use on your day-to-day coding activities. So the next one we have is the parallel array. Okay, just as its name suggests, like parallel lines, two lines that don't touch each other, but they are like opposite, or they are like opposite to each other. That's how the parallel array is the use of multiple arrays to represent a single array of record, just as the ages array and the names arrays are representing a record of a person's, an individual's age and name. And note, parallel arrays, the multiple arrays used to represent a single record should have the same length. So the next array we have is the variable length arrays, and this is found mostly in the programming language C. Is an array in which its size is determined at its runtime. So the next one we have is the bit array, and the bit array is just as its name suggests, is an array used for storing bits of data, and it's what supports most of your computer hardware. So next up, we'll be looking at the applications of arrays in real world scenarios. So stay tuned. Applications of arrays. So when we come to talk about arrays, like the applications of arrays is so wide and vast, because I don't think there's any digital product or any digital related infrastructure that doesn't have arrays working at its core foundation. Even as a newbie, your on your projects, on your personal projects, you tend to use array for one purpose or the other. So I'll be looking at some important roles or important applications of arrays, but you should just have this general knowledge that arrays are used in everything. They are used in everything. So the first one we'll have here is that they play important roles in databases. And even there's a database just made out of arrays. It's called the Array DBMS. It's used for storing homogeneous collection of data. So arrays just play important roles in database, like they are also like a data type for storage, and they are used as they are used to organize some particular sets of data. Next off, they are used to implement other data structures. Yes, arrays form the foundation of almost every linear data structures, like stacks and queues. Without arrays, I don't think you can build a stack and a queue. And also other data structures like trees. Yes, some trees make use of arrays, such as the B tree. The B tree makes use of an array. Next up, they are used for storing data implicitly. Like if you don't want to store the full form of a data, if a data is too large, you can use arrays to store representation of the data you want to store. So next up, they are used for dynamic programming. In dynamic programming, are used to implement many solutions. And there's another application of arrays, and this comes to algorithms. In sorting algorithms, arrays are used. In searching algorithms, arrays are used. And in other algorithms like sliding windows and the rest of them, arrays are used. Arrays just play one of the most important roles in computer science. So it is good that you also read about other concepts of arrays, and I'll be leaving helpful resources in my description so that you can go and do further research on it. Thank you for watching the video. I'll be leaving links to helpful resources to get you grounded in these concepts. I will be releasing a video every Friday, so click the subscribe button and stay tuned. Peace.